Now we're live.
We're live.
Yeah, welcome to the Gordox Pub.
So that's my feelings. The other one was the Moorgate.
Well,
So I
I
don't
don't
know.
care.
I don't know how that works with the word hold. So my favorite of it would be New Hold
Well, then I don't
or
care.
New Holding.
Yeah, I, again, I think you can. We can, we can put New Hold in for right now because I don't think we're ready to uh, put it on a page yet. So,
Well, no, and right now I'm kind of taking a break from the um, driving myself crazy with the design aspect,
okay.
and I'm going to maybe. My intention is to uh, draw
I can probably do that.
our uh, blood runner
Okay.
as a woman.
I don't care.
What's
I,
that?
if you want to, if it's a female, I don't care. Go for it. I have
Well,
no care on that.
hold on. That's my intent for the night.
Okay.
to get a sketch going where it's more of a woman than I got to thinking about what you were saying with the scare factor or the freak out factor of it
Yeah.
being a woman.
Okay.
So what?
Good. My feeling on the blood runner being I don't care what gender it is
Uh,
because
no, you presented it as you like the idea of it being a woman. So
that was
no,
the
no, like there you don't have to defend it. You know, I'm just saying like I got to thinking about it and I thought maybe I would want to do a sketch of it. You're talking about blood runners as a profession, so
yeah,
there's more than one
yeah,
anyway.
yeah, oh yeah, that's
So
why I don't care what
I
sex.
thought it was interesting what my thoughts were with the original thought for me for the armor
Yeah.
versus what I drew last time. And it's got nothing to do with like uh, you shouldn't feel like I'm doing it because you demanded it or whatever. I'm
Okay.
doing it because I thought about it and I thought,
Hold hold on.
hold on. Oh, you're interrupted. Not your turn.
Sorry, my wife. Oh wait, no, she's not done yet. Hold on. Sorry about that. My wife decided to wait till we were streaming to ask about supper. So, and I appreciate the fact that she was willing to go get me supper. So, whatever. Anyway. So I just want to clarify, I guess, what I was thinking. The Blood Runners as a group, yeah, the ones that carry the transmissions, aren't the same thing as Model was. Ms. Model, Mr. Model, whatever. The person you drew, I was going to say the thing you drew last time, which sounds really insulting. So the person you drew with the armor and stuff, that was supposed to be, I mean, that's not Blood Runner is a generic term.
I actually like that term. I kind of want to do a story just on the Blood Runners. I really like that name, so.
Okay. All right.
I'm not, I don't know. Like I just kind of really do, so. The more I think about that name, the more like first it wasn't catching on with me. Like for some reason I just couldn't remember the runner part. You know what I mean? Okay. I don't know why. Like because the blood stuck out to me, but the runner part didn't. And I have no clue what that was about. But
that's fine. Well, a lot of this stuff.
So anyway, like I actually thought that character was a Blood Runner because we did a lot of talking about it, and I see you adjusted it from what it originally was.
Okay. Well, again, until it's on a page. Or until it's published, I guess. I mean, everything's somewhat fluid, and I'm okay with that.
I really like the term Blood Runner.
Okay,
I'm kind of enamored with it right now.
But that's always been. I mean, my intention was that Model was more of a cyborg. So different than a Blood Runner. I don't know, but. Although that opens up some interesting concepts too. So we met. You draw what you want to draw tonight because now I got some ideas. Like that's kind of how that works, I suppose. I mean, it kind of makes sense that she might be one.
And what you were showing me, on Discord,
yeah.
Was that you were kind of really digging into the Blood Runner idea.
Well, I was. I mean, I am. That's kind of the thing. I mean, that's definitely a cornerstone of the world that we're building.
No, I like pretty much most of what I saw.
Okay.
Like I said, there's a quibble over one name, but it wasn't really a quibble. It's just I don't like that one name.
Oh,
but
trust
other
me.
than that,
Unless I ever start saying something like, "Oh, this has got to be the name," like whatever.
Right.
You know me. You've seen my writing. You know how that works. One week we'll have, Bill, John, and Judy, and the next week it's, like Randy and Jim Bob and June or something. I don't know. I mean, it's just I'm never satisfied with the names. So it's one of those things where I was like, all right, I got to have some names. Like, well, I mean, it's just one of those things. I had to have a placeholder.
Right?
Funny enough, placeholder is actually not a bad name for but anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be all over that, but
Well, I mean, one of the best things about the concept, the one of the, I mean, one of the good parts of the world building that we've established is that there's more than one city state. So, whenever you come up with a name or a concept or you need something, you just make a city state that's like it, and then voila, you go there. I mean, it's kind of a definite benefit of the story system. My dog is being weird. I don't know why she does this. She's just acting odd. Either that or she sees something in my room that I don't see, but whatever. Yeah, I got about 1,000 words done on a story, which is kind of funny because I deleted about 500 words of it. I still have about 1,000 words done, but it's a better. Like I'd written one kind of introduction, and it's fine, but it didn't have the I don't know, just didn't have something that I wanted. So I rewrote it, changed the setting, swapped out a character, and yeah, now it's working. It would have worked before, but now I just like it better. And like I said, 1,000 words done. If I can do that for tomorrow, I'll have a good offering for Slack. That'll be something new that you and, well, I don't know. We may have talked about the concept before, but it's beginning to gel a lot more for me. And I think that's going to be my entry for this quarter. And with this being spring break, it's the perfect time to write it all at one time, not have to, do anything else, just get the story done. last time that we were streaming, I felt like I needed to get an outline done, or at least a part of an outline. Like we've discussed some ideas, and we've had, but I was like, I think we need to establish some. I mean, not that we have to stick with the names, but we need to start having some kind of idea. And I wanted to have the sequence of events that lead up directly to the inciting incident, I guess, like set up so that it was clear. So I hope the outline helped with that. And again, it's open for interpretation if you want to do something different or you want to tweak, or like you didn't like the name that I was like, all right. Because, I mean, that name was like, it was just something that it was good enough for the moment. I don't really care. And if you don't like it, trust me, I'm not sold on it either. If you want to go with New Hold, that works for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a thought, again, just like you were talking about, but I think it works better than the other option.
Okay.
I ooh.
Well, I could explain the other option, but that sounds like I'm trying to sell it, and I'm not, so I don't care.
Well, like I said, it just wasn't working for me. Like
That's fine, and that's a good enough
think
reason to look elsewhere.
I think we just need a name that we can get behind, you know.
Right.
Um,
I mean, there are certain things that, I would fight for if you were, like, let's say you didn't like Blood Runner, I would be like, well, you need to come up with something better that I agree with, because I really like that.
I really like Blood Runner, so you don't have to worry about that.
Right, I'm just saying, like, I'd fight for that one. So there are certain things I'd fight for, but there's a lot of stuff. Okay. Like some of the stuff is there's only a limited amount of time, and I want to make sure, it's like, well, all right, it's a placeholder. It tells us what we need, and, it's definitely open to be worked on. Even the outline that I gave you is open to be worked on. Even character names are open to be worked on. I have no problem with any of that. But my ego on those things, when I really want something, I'll say it. I'll let you know. But otherwise,
like, I'm not really tearing down most of what you put in. I think it's good.
Sweet. Good.
I just that one name.
Well, I am okay with scrapping that one name. I'd say that's
it's not even scrapping it, it's just using only part of it, because I think so. I think we just need a more iconic name, and I don't know if that's going to be the thing, but it feels like it represents the idea behind it.
Yeah.
Like if you're saying it's New Hold or New whatever, it's not Build Back Better, but you know what I mean.
There you go. That's what I was secretly trying to do, was to put a reference for my favorite president's economic policies.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about that. Like I'm just thinking of, like, New York is definitely based on York, but the two are not the same,
Right. That's fine. And I like, it works well enough for me. I don't care. If we come up with something that we're like, let's say tonight you go to bed and you have a dream and you wake up and you're like, oh, that's the best name ever. And, okay. It's still,
something tells me that's not going to happen, but okay.
well, I'm saying it could. You never know. So it's malleable. We haven't put it, we haven't listed it on a page yet. So
yeah,
my feeling on all that stuff is.
I was just thinking that, for me, and I'm trying to explain something that I guess is a feel thing,
Yeah.
But it's like when you think of Judge Dredd, Mega City, it makes sense when it's named Mega City,
Yeah.
even though it would be kind of corny anywhere else. It's not in Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what it is. It's a mega city.
Right. But, I mean, I had a reason for the name. I don't care. I mean, the idea was...
What I'm saying is I didn't feel a reason, I guess.
No. Well, I just want you to know, as a writer, I did have some reasons. But...
Do you want to lay them out? Because it sounds like you do.
Well, I don't want you to think I'm trying to sell it, because if you don't like it, you don't like it. It doesn't really matter what the reasons are, and I'm okay with that. So I don't want you to think I'm trying to sell it. So as long as we know we're not using this. But my idea was that, so it's post-apocalyptic, and this is supposed to be one of the good areas. So my idea was that was where they had I forget what they're called, but a place where you store seeds, like various types of seeds. Thus, a hold for seeds, which eventually would become blooms, which is what you would need after a post-apocalyptic event. So that's kind of where my thought process was. But it's if it doesn't sound good, it doesn't matter.
Well, I guess to me yeah, I mean, I would think you want something indicative of the people, you know what I mean? Not necessarily the sea. It's just like Titan AE, right? In Titan AE, the Titan class ship had pretty much all fertilized eggs and seeds and everything else, so that when they found the proper place,
right,
it would work, right?
Right.
So, but they didn't call it like the seed ship, you know what I mean? And I'm not making fun of you, so don't think I am.
It wouldn't matter if you were.
That's not what I'm trying to do at all.
Yeah,
but
I'm not.
I guess what I'm getting at is that's kind of what it feels like you're saying about the city. I mean, yeah, there's a reason for it, but it's like I think the city is not going to be a city without people. It doesn't matter whether there's seeds there if there's no one to consume them or no one to cultivate them, right? Okay. So I guess I'm thinking that after something like that, after a big event like that, you'd want to renew, you'd want to refresh, start over.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think maybe there's a name in that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't have to be New Hold or whatever, but I like the idea of Hold. I think you were thinking of a different kind of hold than I was, but my thinking was that it was a stronghold. You know, that was my first thought. That was what came to mind. And I like the idea of a stronghold, or even just stronghold. But
I would be worried. Well, I don't know. I guess that'd work. I'd have to look it up. It's almost. Let's that's a lot like Threshold, which was there's that. I don't think they still have it. I don't know. They might.
Threshold's like your limit. A stronghold is like a defense.
Well, when I grew up, this would have been for you too, in Dungeons and Dragons, they started you off in a place called Threshold, which is literally the line between, that's the door. So you go beyond the threshold, you're out in the wilderness.
Yeah, none of the DMs that I ever played with started us off in Threshold. They started us off in a bar in Greyhawk.
Well, okay, but there was definitely. I mean, just saying.
I'm not. I guess I'm not all that much of a Dungeons and Dragons expert, but I played for a long time.
Well, there was the Black Baron was nearby, and there's the Grand Duchy of, I forget what it's called, but so yeah, I mean it was kind of, they set it up. I promise that's 100% is a name a lot of people who play D&D would know.
I get it, but Threshold is what a threshold is. You know what I mean?
Right, I get it.
I don't think it's an automatic connection with Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh,
and I hope
if you
not.
Leave it your city.
Really, if you think about it, I don't think you're going to create anything that doesn't find a similarity with Dungeons and Dragons. It's been around too long.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely know where my inspirations for naming locations tends to come from. There are a couple things. China Mayville was a huge influence on me, though. I think some of the names he has in his Boss Lag series, I love them. I mean, some of them don't hit, but man, there are some that I just think are wonderful. And ever since I read Perdido Street Station, I have tried to come up with names that I thought would kind of work with that. And again, I'm not defending the name that I came up with. I'm just explaining it. We don't need it. My idea was that a lot of times
maybe someone will make a comment and think that that's a better name. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not saying my way is the only right way. I just tend to think more human and more.
That's fine, and we can go that way, and that's why I was like, it works perfectly fine. If New Hold is what you want to do, like it captures everything that I think it should, so it works. I
also don't want you to feel like you can't contribute what you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that, because if I really want something, you'll know. But a lot of times places get named, I think, or at least the way I do it, is kind of what the area is associated with. So like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, the town is Barter Town, because people come, and there's a place not far from where I live called Commerce, and I like it's a tiny little place, but I'm like, yeah, that's a good name for a town, like Commerce, yeah, because that's what you're looking for. So I that idea that they had seeds, and Seedhold doesn't quite work for me, and Bloomhold was like, all right, it's good enough, but it was not something I fell in love with. But that's kind of how I come up with them. There's also some stuff that oh, like there's an area in Muncie, Indiana called Shedtown, which there's
Yeah, we have a couple of stores up here that's named Shed City, and
right. But so I started looking up some of the stuff for Shedtown, and they had some. Like, I just found a great place that had some good things about Muncie I didn't know about that I just thought that's a cool name. Like Bloody Run was a neighborhood, and I was like, wow, okay, all right, Bloody Run, that's an interesting name. I don't know. So, and of course, I live by Gas City, which if we were doing a
Mad Max type of thing.
yeah, that would be the perfect name for a town in Mad Max. So,
Well,
whatever.
It kind of, yeah, I don't know. It kind of sounds like a gas station. Like there's a gas station I know of called Fuel City.
Oh yeah.
So it has reminiscence with that, I guess.
Well, I believe Gas City was named that because when they found there was long time ago, they drilled for oil in this area or natural gas, one or the other.
Yeah, natural gas all the way from there, Pennsylvania.
That's when you run into some characters from Indiana's history, like Diamond Heeled Hattie. It was a great name, and just one of those things. It's an ugly name for a town, I think, now. Sorry, Gas City residents. It's not my favorite. But it makes sense if you know some of the history.
Right.
I'm surprised they don't have more restaurants. I would play off that name all day long.
Especially like if they're serving chili.
Yeah. They should have a big contest. In fact, I should do that. They have a James Dean festival. Somebody should be having a chili contest in that.
The chili contest in the James Dean Festival?
Well, for Gas City, yeah. I just think that'd be fun. Yeah, it's kind of funny because you had an idea of the character that wasn't quite what I was thinking, and so you wanted to draw this, which is cool. And I'm thinking, all right, so we're gonna see what you come up with, and then if I can incorporate that into the storyline, that's fantastic. And some of the stuff about. Because I'm also thinking about what has to be on the page, what the reader's going to have to know, and that kind of stuff. And some of this stuff about, is Model a blood runner? Is Model something else? We don't have to necessarily decide on. All we really have to do is make sure that we don't contradict ourselves once it's on the page.
Right.
And again, some of that's just the mystery. I mean, I think some, one of the things that made Wolverine interesting, and they've kind of ruined it, in my opinion. His backstory was kind of a mystery. where did he come from? How did he get his claws and all that stuff? It's like that was a mystery for quite some time. And I think it's because they didn't really know the answer to it, but whatever. So they could tease it. You'd learn about it little by little. It just made the character more interesting. Everything good there?
What you're hearing is Eli enjoying his food.
Okay.
It just sound like.
Well, there's that, and I don't know what the other sound was necessarily, and I was like, somebody fall?
I don't know either, huh?
No, it might have been packaging or just a wrapper or something. I don't know.
Well, it probably was whatever he's eating.
Yeah, but it's just one of those. I got confused.
I just am accustomed to him making noises like that. So
I remember when my oldest boy was around, I don't know, maybe 2. And I called my mom up because I wasn't sure if I should let him play by himself in his own room. I was like, is he old enough for that? Like, can I leave him unattended in his own room? Just, first time parent type of questions. But, I felt after 2 years, I was like, well, he can kind of walk, and he can't. We had an apartment that had stairs. I was like, the stairs are blocked off, so he can't do that. I'm like, I think he's safe. I mean, there was a monitor in there, so I was like, we could hear. So, just wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if he. So I think he played a little bit by himself, but I was still too nervous. Now we're at the stage. You hear a big crash in the house, and you're like, what'd you break? Not, are you okay?
Well, wait till you get to the stage where, wait a minute, it's too quiet.
Yeah. We were there.
Something ain't right because it's too freaking quiet.
My parents knew with me, they're like, if it gets too quiet, he's either up to no good or he's playing with Legos. That was, they could pretty much tell, like, because I'd get real quiet then. Because I'd be in it. But that's about it. That's what they basically knew. They'd come in and check just to make sure. Because I wasn't really allowed to have Legos outside of my room because my parents didn't want to step on any.
Yep. I don't blame them. Don't take too many times stepping on a Lego to know that
Oh, yeah.
you've got to police it better.
There's a closet in my boys' room that if it had a window, I could just about call it its own room. I mean, it's a pretty big walk-in closet. And it's basically my son's Lego room. And, he's a sophomore in high school, but, when he wants to relax, he'll go build stuff with Legos. So I'm okay with that. I'm like, sweet. Like I'm kind of sad the days of, they'd want Lego stuff, but they'd want me to build it first. And then Thaddeus would keep it that way for about 10 minutes, and then he'd just tear it apart and make his own stuff. But he wanted to see it built the first time. So I always got to build it. And then, he got to play with it from then on out. That was always entertaining for me. I enjoyed that quite a bit. But now he just builds it himself. So... Last night was the first night in a long time. Sat down and I played Call of Duty with Thaddeus. That was fun. We haven't done that in a while, and a lot of times because I don't have time or whatever. But definitely glad I did that last night. That was some of the best fun. And I hadn't played that game yet. This is on their PlayStation 5, so. I don't exactly know what number it is, but I enjoyed it, running around. But I generally don't like fighting against my own children. I like to keep it teams. And I like slaughtering NPCs. That's how I get my relaxation. Like, before I had kids, I had an Xbox, and I played the Hitman games on it, and I was never one to try to, only kill the target. I wanted every single thing on that level dead. It's always how I like playing it. I would go up into towers and I would sniper everything on that game. And I found that incredibly relaxing. I was like, oh yeah, you're stressed out? Go do that for a little while. It's all good. So I like when Thaddeus can run around and I can just be sniping people, or, if there's not a good place to be a sniper, run around, just with him. And then he turned it on. He's like, oh, I just want to change one of the settings. I was like, all right. And I didn't know he turned it on. So he kills me like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, first time I thought it was an accident. Then he starts giggling. I was like, you rat fink. You did that on purpose. So that was funny. And I was telling my older son about it today. And I was like, I swear to God, he was following me because I would kill somebody, which would change my gun. And then he would kill me. Like, he would wait for me to kill the bad guy, then he would kill me. And my older boy was like, I know, that's what he does. He follows you. And Thaddeus was like, no, I was just going where the people are. It's like, no, you went where I was. That's where you were going. And you aimed at me. So it's not the same thing as I went to where the people were. And whatever this new one is, you can wound people a lot more. Like, you'll drop them, but they're not dead, and I didn't know that. So, like, I shot Thaddeus once, and apparently he wasn't dead. He dropped, but he recovered and killed me. I was like, oh, I thought you were dead.
Next time I'll stomp on you and make sure.
Yeah, I'll put a few more rounds in you just to make sure. Yeah. Double tap. That's the rule. Got to double tap. But it was definitely fun. I haven't had, just a good, fun night like that in quite a while. And I am stoked to be able to do that with my boys sometimes. I'm stoked that my boys want to do that kind of stuff. So.
Right.
I'm not sure if I could convince my father to play a game like that. Although part of me thinks that sounds fun, trying to watch him play that game. Not sure how much fun he'd have with it, but it would be fun for us. So, but I am definitely not as good as my boys are on those things anymore. The days of me being better at them at video games is gone. Just, they're way more practiced than I am, and just like, all right, go for it.
Well, yeah, you got shit to do with your day.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it. I'm like, I'm glad you could play games while I work, while I slave over my computer screen.
So that you can do,
Yeah.
but I can't.
Although I got to tell you, when you said that you were in studio, I was like, what the hell do you mean you're in studio? And then I looked down, it was already after 8. I was like, holy crap. Like I've been writing today on our project plus on my own project, and yeah, my just time got away from me. No idea. And I'm okay with that. Like, it's a good day, I think. Yeah, last night I had this idea right before I went to bed for a name. Um, and I was so mad when I looked it up this morning and found out it's been used for a video game. And I was just like, no, that was going to be
You gotta
perfect.
stop doing that because names, unless it's like I don't know, unless it's like a rarity type of a name, then you're gonna find them somewhere else anyway.
Well, I try to avoid it. I don't want the hassle. Like, it was a cool name. It would work, but I'm like, I just can't see it. I mean, I don't know. I figured out something else later on today that I think will work just as well. It might be a little bit more cerebral, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, just one of those things I had to come up with. So I was, I think it was sometime today. It might have been yesterday. Ethan Van Scriber was on with a couple other people, and I think he was inking a Batman head. I think that's what he was doing. I didn't watch it very long because they weren't really talking about anything. But I was like they were trying to call
Are
up
you
people.
sure that's not Graybeards and they were doing Spider-Man?
Yeah, I'm
He was on
positive.
Graybeards this week and they were all drawing Spider-Man.
Well, you look at it.
And he said that was the first Spider-Man he drew. He drew, unless you watched an older stream, because he did a Batman.
No, it was live.
Pen. Well, it
I
was
think it was
live when?
I think it was live. I was either yesterday or today. I'm thinking it was today. Like oh no, I don't have that. I'm going to my YouTube just to look at my history, and then I will. When it loads slowly. I don't know.
I know he was on earlier today.
The only bad thing is yeah, there we go. Maybe it was yesterday. What happened? E-fapping? Thursday's yeah, okay. Thursday's controversial Jack show. I'm worried for my friends.
Yeah, Jack show is John Malin. And each one of the letters in Jack are one of the people. So it was John, Anna, Cecil, and Kelsey, but Kelsey quit. So
they need to find an Olivia, a Frank, and I don't know, Fred. They need those 3 people. So they can have a Jack option.
Probably not. You watch it long enough, and they're probably there already. Or if you really want to see them being Jagoffs or Shane Davis being a Jagoff, you can watch the Ballers.
Oh, well, whatever.
When he kind of dresses up like the Tiger King there.
Oh.
I don't remember his name because I didn't really watch that shit, but he does an imitation of the Tiger King and calls himself Mange Davis and does really stupid shit.
Yeah. I also watched the remake of Roadhouse.
Yep, I did that last night.
What'd you think about it?
Okay, so the first thing I have to say about it is it's not Roadhouse.
That's true.
The second thing I have to say about it is it could be a good sequel if they connected it to the other Roadhouse.
Yeah.
And the only way I could think of to do that, because Patrick Swayze's dead, is to say like that Jake Gyllenhaal's character was adopted by him. That's why his last name is Dalton, and was trained by him. But as far as similarities go, other than the bouncer at the bar and the fighting the bad, evil karate guy, that's really where the similarities end. Jake Gyllenhaal's character wasn't intelligent. He wasn't sly, crafty. Didn't have a car that was a piece of shit for a reason.
Right.
Uh,
I thought there were plot lines that just never really panned out.
Well, I think it was supposed to be more of an action movie. And as far as an action movie, it's basically a Steven Seagal movie.
Yeah, but like that guy's the antagonist's father's in prison, and like nothing really came of that. Like, why was that there?
Well, because that's who actually hired the Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but why? Why not just let it be the guy that's been doing everything? I don't know. There were things in there that just didn't really make sense to me.
I get you. I'm with you.
I really liked Jake Gyllenhaal in the movie. I did like him. No, it's not necessarily. I think I don't know, just the way he comes off, very friendly, I like the energy. You know, like when they're like, did you get hit too many times in the head? He's like, yeah, it's probably that. You know, I thought that was some interesting, like, he just does not care what you say. And I liked that. Like, there was something about that I really enjoyed. Like, I will take that and I will put that in my pocket and think about that for later. But overall, I was like, yeah, the story doesn't make a lot of sense.
So he's being cranky again.
Oh.
And I missed half of what you said because I had to mute it because he is crinkling bags and everything else.
Well, I was just saying that Jake Gyllenhaal's character, just the vibe that he gave off, that's what I enjoyed. The part where he's not offended by what you say about him because he doesn't care what you say about him. I liked. I don't think his internal conflict really made a lot of sense, but
I think it was delivered too late in the wrong way.
Right.
It would have made a hell of a lot more sense if we knew what his internal conflict was in the beginning when he parked on the railroad tracks.
Right. And I think they were trying to kind of hold that back as a twist or something.
Right. And it was delivered by the bad guy. So, you know, that he had dreams, he had there's all kinds of reasons we should have known beforehand. You see what I mean?
Well, I was pretty certain what it was, and that's what it was. It wasn't that.
Well,
but
I didn't have any clue about it being his best friend.
Well, that was an added detail. That's true.
Well, I don't think so. If you look at it, that's his motivation. It's because it was his best friend or whatever. But
Okay.
so I read Jake Gyllenhaal's acting different than you do. I have
Okay.
not seen him in a movie yet where he hasn't had that fucking stupid grin.
Well, that's his
Not one.
face.
Not one. No, that stupid grin that he does when that he's basically explaining it off as being you can't get to me, but when you do get to me, you know what I mean? Like that was it's the same thing. To me, that's what I can't stand about watching George Clooney movies.
Oh yeah.
Stupid fucking grin. Like he was in
So
the
you
middle
don't
of a
like
perfect
Ocean's
storm.
11?
He's in the middle of a perfect storm and dying on a ship, and he's got that fucking stupid grin. All of his people are dying, and he's got that stupid fucking grin.
Oh.
So that's the problem I have with Jake Gyllenhaal is the same fucking stupid grin. Like I know that they tried to explain that stupid grin away, and like as far as that goes, it's all right of a reason. I like the idea that he's supposed to be unshakable.
Yeah.
But
Well, that.
I didn't read it as unshakable. I read it as just beat dumb.
No.
Because, like I said, he wasn't clever. Not at all. There's nothing in that movie that was clever. He didn't predict any of the shit. He saw people fucking lining up, the bikes lining up and all that shit, and yet he didn't expect walking home somebody was gonna fucking do some shit to him. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, like, he didn't, the only time that he had seemed like he had any kind of clue is when after the dude hit him with the truck and all that shit, that he would find him there once he got home. So you had a clue of that, and you still just kind of walked home and, you know, whatever anyway. I don't know. But
I don't think that, again, I don't think it's better than the original by far. I mean, I do not think that. I think the original is the better one. I think it's better writing on the original one. I think some of the charm of the original one is gone. Because you had that whole...
There was no chemistry like they had with Sam Elliott and Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
That was the best part of Roadhouse, was the chemistry between Sam Elliott and Patrick Swayze. Which is why I said I thought it would have been much better if it was a sequel playing off of like he adopted a kid, and you could computer generate Patrick Swayze's voice into maybe being on the other end of a phone, you know what I mean? Giving him some advice here and there, but like everything he did, nothing seemed intelligent, nothing seemed smart. You know, he didn't seem motivated to have to be there at all until the bookshop incident, right?
Yeah.
And
which I thought I saw that coming a mile away too. That was,
yeah,
it was really obvious.
And that's what I was saying. Like that was, yeah, you saw it all coming. So, and then two other problems I had with it. One of them made the movie almost a comedy. And that was the very end. If you watch the very, very end with Conor McGregor coming out of the hospital again.
Oh, I guess I missed that part.
Oh, yeah. Like after the credits or during the credits, he fucking, they showed the operating room or ER or whatever, and there was a blood spray on the door, and he's walking out in just the robe with his ass showing.
No.
And he's strutting the same way he did the first time you saw him after getting stabbed in all these vital organs, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like he just walks out of the hospital and just strides out of the hospital like he's badass again.
Wow.
But it made it almost a comedy, like, oh yeah, he can't die or whatever. And the other thing was the cop. The sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
So he just goes on being a corrupt cop sheriff, right?
Well, like I said, there were lots of storylines that I just thought were not tied up the way they should have been. So,
Right. Well, I guess I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just saying there's one in particular that was bugging me, and that was the one that was bugging me. Not saying that I don't know, like that's those are the major things. Like I've got into a conversation earlier about this subject. Seems like everyone's got an opinion on it. Uh, the main thing to me is that they tried to claim it was what it was, and the only thing that was similar is when he was in the hospital getting at first, trying to get that stab wound, or not trying to get that stab wound taken care of, whichever way you want to look at it.
right.
There's one line in that whole scene that was from the other movie, but I didn't really feel like anything was. I didn't feel like he was Dalton. Like in a lot of the stuff that was missing, the charm that you were talking about from the original is that, like Jeff Healey, right? Like after a fight, he's like, his name is Dalton, Like you would think with this Dalton, he would have an introduction like that earlier on. So he didn't know anyone in the band, and that's a little bit different, but he was supposedly a televised fighter, right?
Right.
And nobody knew who he was until after, and then the morning after, everybody knows who he is. And then he's all like, well, how's everybody know my name?
Because you've been on TV.
Yeah, right?
They should have known who you were the night before.
Right. Well, the fact that
especially when you show that first fight,
a notorious fighter. Well, the first
non-fight,
huh?
The non-fight when he just walks in and puts his hood down, and the guy's like, "Oh, never mind, I'm not fighting him."
Oh yeah,
that part.
Like
if he knows
those guys knew who he was, but
yeah,
why didn't the bar owner who hired him know who he was?
Right.
Why didn't like when he first got in and all the people at the bar and the bouncers and all that, nobody knew who he was by that time?
Right.
She didn't look him up by that time?
Her character I was just like, I thought her character was a waste of opportunity. The doctor was a waste of opportunity. The ex-boyfriend cop that lets, whose boat they use, I was just like, what the hell? Like, this is so random and convoluted. I mean, there were definitely things that it's a swing and a miss for me, ultimately. It's not what I'm going to want to go back to.
I guess essentially it's like, for me, it was an okay action movie, but I don't think of it as Roadhouse.
Yeah. Okay.
And when I say okay, I'm like, I've watched a lot of B-movie karate movies. So,
yeah.
It fits right in with like Oliver Gruner.
Yeah. Yeah, if you really think about the Roadhouse, like That movie could have been about the bookstore and been just as
Right.
you
It didn't have to be about a roadhouse. They just used the money or used the
yeah.
name to make money. That's just like this new Crow.
That
It's
meme you
not
shared
the
was
Crow.
great.
It's not the Crow. It's not the Crow's story.
Yeah.
So what they're using is the aesthetic of Sexy Undead, which is Lost Boys and the Crow,
You know.
to draw a new audience in to that, so that they can give them some lame shit. It's not going to be as deep and meaningful of a movie because it's not the same situation at all. There's no top dollar. There's no Hell Knight or whatever it was. So it's, to me, it's not the same. It's not the Crow.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It just did not really seem the right. And maybe
Well,
I'm wrong. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not really looking forward to it. I would probably wait for that to come out where I could watch it at home, and
yeah,
that
right.
way if so that if I don't like it, I can just be like, yeah, enough of that.
Yeah, and I didn't pay for it, so whatever.
Right. I mean, I still want to see the Gentleman series, the series that's on Netflix. Because I like the movie that it's the sequel to, I believe.
What is it?
The Gentlemen, plural, which is a sequel. It's a series which I believe is a sequel to The Gentleman, that had Matthew McConaughey and a lot of people in it, really. And it was freaking amazing. It's a Guy Ritchie film. I love Guy Ritchie films. And The Gentleman delivered, I thought. I enjoyed it immensely. And then there's a series on Netflix I think it's sequel, and which is also by Guy Ritchie, so he's involved in it. So I'm like, all right, cool. I just haven't had time to watch.
Henry Cavill has signed on for a Guy Ritchie film, I think.
I think. Actually, hold on. I think that yeah. He already made it. It's already out. It's called The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Oh, okay.
And
well, there's a listing besides that for unnamed project. So.
Oh, okay. Well, Guy Ritchie uses some of the same people a lot. I mean, he does. And I like his films.
Jason Statham's career started with him.
Yeah.
Oh no! Wait a minute. That was the hell's the dude? The French guy.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I just don't know his name because he's French. But
no, you know his name.
Okay, if you say so. But anyway, I mean, it's. I will probably go watch that tomorrow, assuming I'm far enough in my writing. I might wait till Monday, but I have a feeling. I mean, I definitely want to see that.
Maybe I was thinking of the producer. It's not the director.
No,
because the director of those movies are Louis Leterrier.
Oh.
But the Transporter.
Oh no, no. Let me look.
I don't know why I want to say that's somebody else. What the hell?
Yeah, because that's not Transporter's not a Guy Ritchie. No.
No, I was thinking of somebody else. Ah, let me see if I can find the name.
What movie are you thinking
Luke,
of?
yeah, it's Luc Besson,
Okay.
and it's directed by Louis Leterrier or whatever, but it's based on the screenplay by Luc Besson. Luc Besson does a lot of those action flicks like that.
Uh,
And I mixed him up with Guy Ritchie, but that's you would recognize his shit.
ooh.
Lucy, The Fifth Element, Valerian,
Okay.
The Professional, La Femme Nikita. The Arthur animated Taken.
Okay.
Taken 2, Taken 3. Point of No Return, which we were talking about, which is La Femme Nikita, the American version.
Right.
Kiss of the Dragon with Jet Li. Lockout. District 13. Lucy 2, The Messenger.
Lucy had a sequel?
That's what it says.
Huh.
Lucy 2, Plot Unknown. Sequel to the 2014 action film. Maybe it never went anywhere.
Lucy 2. This time she pulls the football away. So, yeah, who knows? But I mean, the first one seemed kind of like a one and done type thing. So, you know, where do you go from? She basically becomes God.
I don't know. But that's who I was thinking of as Luc Besson.
Okay.
Guy Ritchie, Luc Besson, they're familiar types of movies, the action oriented.
hope that was not your belly.
No, it's a snowplow.
Okay, that'll work. The other night, right before we got on stream, I mean, I'm talking like 30 seconds before we get on here. I don't know what I'd eaten, but I felt something just cascade from like all across my top, all the way down. And it was just this terrible noise. And I was like, oh, that's not going to be good. Whatever that is, that's wrong. So it's just one of those things. Just kind of worried. Yeah, last night being the first night of spring break for us, you know, we ordered a bunch of pizza because Domino's has that 50% off thing. Got a box of chips, like a various assortment of smaller bags. You know, we just basically got munchy food and played Call of Duty for most of the night. It was just real simple, easy, fun, and definitely needed that. Well, here I am, amazing and majestic. I'm assuming Rich is experiencing technical difficulties. Either that or he's doing an amazing lifelike drawing of me. It's beautifully animated too. Okay. Well, thank you, viewers, for watching my head bob. I'm hoping you guys are not going to bail too soon. I'm sure he'll be back. He normally tells me when he's going to be gone, so I'm assuming it's a technical thing. So I could be wrong. Maybe it was a snowplow. Maybe it wasn't a snowplow. The conspiracy theories we can enjoy. By the way, if you're watching, feel free to leave a comment. You know, we'd love talking. Aha! Well, okay. I've got an update. It appears that a tree has taken out Rich's power, and which might have been that snowplow. And sadly, his power is out, so he doesn't have any way to connect. I don't think. And I'm going to double check because he's got his phone. I don't know if he can do anything about that. Just going to check here real fast. And do apologize for that. Going to see if he responds, and may end up ending this a little early tonight. Sorry. We'll see. He's typing. He's thinking about it. I'm just going to blab for a while. See, the sad part is I'm a teacher, so I probably could sit there and talk most of the night until someone rings a bell. So, yep, he's out. Sorry, guys. We're going to have to get back to that drawing later. He's got no way to stream. The tree has knocked out his power. We apologize. So we're going to close out the Gordox Pub tonight with thank you to all of you who watched, and anyone who finds out, let us know. Feel free to check out. There's a link in the description if you're on YouTube. You can pre-order the anthology. My story is in. Anyway, good night. God bless. Much love. Have a fabulous, fabulous evening. Peace out.